Phil Spencer acknowledges it's been too long since Xbox's last big first-party game. So obviously we know 2022 has been a down year for Xbox first-party games, right? They haven't put out anything. We have Pentiment coming out in about 15 days or so for now. I think it comes out November 15th. Very excited for that game, but that's a very small game from Obsidian with a small team, kind of a side project, one of the many projects that Obsidian has. But I'm really excited for Pentiment. It's gonna be technically a first-party Xbox game coming into Xbox Game Pass Day 1. So they aren't gonna go all of 2022 without a first-party game. No one's gonna be able to say that before the end of the year. But he had an interview here with the Same Brain videocast. It's with iJustine. And he had some stuff to say in terms of first party and hearing the fans in their, I guess, discontent right now with the fact that Xbox hasn't delivered with any of their first party stuff this year, haven't put out a game. He says here, one thing we've definitely heard loud and clear is it's been too long since we've shipped what people would say is a big first party game. And I'm trying to think, the last game that they shipped would have been Halo Infinite, right? At the end of 2021. When they released the campaign in December, that was their last big game. But there was also Forza Horizon 5 before that. But actually, I guess you could count Grounded's full 1.0 release as well as a big first-party game release. Although that game had been out for a while, people have already jumped in, and it's an incredible game. Don't get me wrong. That's something, again, another Obsidian product, another Obsidian game. So really, Obsidian is carrying Xbox Game Studios right now in 2022 with just all of the great stuff that they are working on. The fact that they can work on so many different games and still get people excited and hyped for everything that's upcoming, like Avowed. We saw that leaked screenshot, even though it's an older screenshot, it looks really, really cool. So I guess we have Grounded and Pentiment in 2022 that we're going to be getting. But Phil Spencer has heard the complaints about right now people waiting on more first-party content, and he goes over kind of what's going on, where they are within the production schedule and all that type of stuff. He says here, we can have our excuses with COVID and other things, but in the end, I know people invest in our platform and they want to have great games. And that's the thing. I think the excuses right now, people are kind of tired of hearing about the excuses. Yes, the pandemic plays a large role in a lot of things being pushed back in terms of scheduling, in terms of being able to get stuff out on time. But we're getting into 2023 now. Most places around the world have slowly gone back to normal, and the excuses aren't really going to be able to be used anymore, or at least from a consumer's perspective, your patience for excuses probably are getting less and less. He says here, we're excited about 2023. We've talked about games that are coming. Those games are tracking well, and we're out of what COVID did to the production schedule. And as an industry, we have fewer games this holiday than we've had in a while. When you just think about the launches, Call of Duty is coming, God of War is coming, which is great. Nintendo's had a good year, but in general, I would say we've been a little light. So, I mean, Call of Duty's already out. That game, we'll talk about that later on, but it is tracking in terms of sales and everything just extremely well. Just extremely, extremely well. It's absolutely like selling like crazy, doing way better than Vanguard, but we'll go over that. And yes, God of War, that's going to be the big first party PlayStation game. They also had Horizon earlier this year. So whether you're a PlayStation fan or not, PlayStation has delivered in 2022 on bringing out first-party content. It's been a while since Horizon with God of War, but the hype is absolutely crazy. It's going to be dominating the headlines for the next month or so. They're pushing out their consoles with God of War on the cover, as well as Call of Duty on the PS5 case and everything. So they're really, really going to be trying to dominate the holiday season very hard. And they're probably going to have a great holiday season where Xbox is going to kind of try to wait until 2023 comes in terms of really pushing out and advertising all the first party stuff that's coming. He says here, but I look at 2023 and there's a great lineup of games coming that I'm excited about. Getting our first real Xbox first party games out of Bethesda, having them ship with Redfall and Starfield will be a lot of fun. So he confirms here that those games are coming in 2023. Do not have a date yet. There was an interesting Twitter post by Bethesda today where they put out something about Fallout's 25th anniversary, but they put it in like that picture where you see most developers and companies where they generally announce delays. And I think everybody got extremely scared, but it was literally just like a nice announcement about Fallout's 25th anniversary. So those are still coming in 2023 unless something crazy happens and it doesn't make its way out. But again, we don't know the time frame. Right now, we do know that early 2023 is what Starfield is aiming for. Well, that got pushed to the end of the year. yet to be foreseen. People are worried about 30 FPS. Todd Howard said that he likes 30 FPS in terms of a cinematic view, but I don't know if that's a confirmation that Starfield is going to be 30 FPS. Like, I think there's still going to be a 60 FPS mode, but we'll wait and see on that. If there isn't, a lot of people are going to be angry about that, but either way, I think it's still going to be an incredible game. Then he also goes on here to talk about PC. Now, one of the biggest things for me with PC Game Pass and console Game Pass is the parity between them. I think they should literally be the exact same. We're getting closer to that. We're going to be getting Age of Empires on console very soon. And I think that's a great thing. And I think Xbox needs to make sure that going forward, every PC release that they can, at least definitely first party. I mean, third party stuff is a little bit harder to control because you're not going to say no to a developer who wants to put their game into PC Game Pass but doesn't want to develop a console version of the game. Most likely still going to take it. But first party 100% needs to have parity in terms of having the same games on PC Game Pass as they do on console. And they're definitely going that route, especially with things like Age of Empires coming over to console, which I'm very, very excited to. I'm probably going to be playing that game more because it is on console, just sitting back and jumping in with the controller scheme, whatever they're going to be able to figure out for that. But Phil Spencer talks here about PC, says a lot more work on PC, and they are going to be launching a big update for the Xbox app in a few weeks. So we've already seen some updates with the DVR stuff coming out for your phone, where I believe now you're going to be able to actually cut clips, which is cool. I've seen on console, been playing a lot of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and being able to cut clips is through the console DVR app. I think that's new. I don't remember being able to do that previously, but now you can go in and do it via the console, and they're going to be bringing that over to the phone as well. So there's a lot of information here in this interview with iJustine and the Same Brain video cast with Phil Spencer. And this is coming off of the Wall Street Journal interview that he had. So he's doing his media rounds and he's providing us a lot of information. And we're off of the heels of finding out the stuff here about the 159% increase year on year with PC subscriptions, and how Xbox Game Pass is 10 to 15% of revenue. So we're not getting games, but we're getting a lot of information kind of what Xbox is going towards, what their business is going towards, how it's doing, and all of that type of stuff. But like I said, there was a lot more stuff that he talked about. For example, he also talked about Fable. So we'll listen to what he says here. It's nothing too crazy, but he does mention that he is excited for Fable.
The team at Playground is now working on Fable. We got an update on that recently, which looks great. It's such a good team. A team at
So he's excited about Fable. Got an update on that. It's looking great. I mean, what else is he going to say? Probably nothing if it wasn't looking great. But the fact that he's come out and said that, knowing that this was going to get the rounds, excited to see what they're going to be doing with Fable. Hopefully at this upcoming showcase in 2023, we get a deep dive into Fable and see more about it. That's going to be really, really cool. What else do we have here? He also talked about the next Xbox. This was another thing he said. They're already asking their first party creators about what they wish they could do in their games today and what they aren't able to do, and they're planning on how they will incorporate into the next Silicon hardware and services going forward. So Xbox, this is not anything unexpected. Generally, right when the new console releases, they're already looking ahead to the next generation of Xbox. And it's great that he's letting us know this, because if you think about the Xbox One, Xbox did a great job in their future vision on fixing all the things that was wrong with the Xbox One and just giving us a great console generation so far. The Xbox Series S and X has been so good in terms of the actual hardware that we've gotten, in terms of the quality of life features with it, just how fast everything is. I wonder what they're going to be able to do to improve on the next generation of Xbox, besides improving things that people have been asking for a long time, like the DVR, maybe increasing load times even more, which I don't know how they're going to do because they're so extremely fast right now. So there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff going forward. I think next generation is going to be very interesting in terms of like how they're going to revolutionize the console space. I don't know if it's going to stay stagnant. They're probably going to really put a lot more services within there. Obviously, streaming is going to be bigger and Game Pass is going to be their main focus, but I definitely hope they do bring out another Xbox Series X of some sort for the next generation of consoles. Just a powerful console, at home console that you download all of your games and you play those games. natively without actually having to have streaming or anything like that, because people, there's still obviously a huge market for that. We're seeing that in this generation. I think a lot of people would have expected by now the consoles would have been a thing of the past, and it would have been all streaming or anything that they didn't have to actually put all this direct hardware under your TV. But it's definitely still needed. I definitely still want it, and it looks like they're still looking for more advice and ideas of what they can do for the next Xbox. And then he also talks about being all in on the future of Xbox. So we can listen to what he says here, then I'll read it.
We're all in. Like, we're thinking about new hardware, we're thinking about new styles of games, new partnerships, new first party things that we can go do. We're also spending more time even thinking about mobile and like, what do we mean for mobile players, because we don't really mean anything for mobile players right now. So it's just an exciting time.
So there you go. All in on Xbox, and they're thinking about new hardware, new styles of games, new partnerships, new first party things that they can do, and thinking about mobile.